Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and I'm excited for today's video because Bloodborne is finally running on the PC. Yeah, the footage you're looking at is actually running on my computer right now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it might not look perfect, it might look laggy, but you know, a month ago when I was like, oh my god, we finally saw a red screen, guys, we're making some progress. Holy hell, we are making crazy progress because we're in-game, ladies and gentlemen. We are rendering 3 different dimensions. And that is just a start. You know, back in the day for PlayStation 3 emulation, one of the games that I was super excited for was MGS4. And I remember seeing the black screen, seeing the game try to load up, having it get to the main menu and crash a million times. I even streamed my hair-pulling process. And now, in today's day and age, you can actually play through all of Metal Gear Solid 4 at 60 frames per second right here. I'm actually playing it. It's crazy how quickly these things develop. Once that initial bomb sets off, that little thing, it starts a powder keg explosion that leads to what we're about to look at. Now, I'm going to just rip right in here. This is Shad PS4. Now, we've looked at Shad PS4 before, and of course, if you go to their website, they're pretty much selling the fact that Bloodborne progress is being made like crazy. Now, if Sony doesn't care about Bloodborne ending up on PC, well, leave it to the PC community to be developing. This stuff has basically been going viral in the emulation sphere, and I've been watching it very closely. So what we've done is we went to Shad PS4, and there's actually a specific branch where somebody's working on it, making specific hacks for Bloodborne. So aside from the main, this is in the BB Hacks repository. So if you want to get your hands on this, you can download this repo and build it for Windows, Linux, and I believe Mac as well. I'm personally using this underneath Windows right now. That's where I'm at, but yeah, this exists and you can actually get this and download. Now, if you have a disk copy of if you have the disk copy of what appears to be Bloodborne, specifically I would say the Game of the Year edition, and I think that's like 1.09, basically the most patched version, that's what you're going to want to be using because that is the most stable version in all of this. Now, of course, Bloodborne, you were able to go to the actions over here and just download the Windows QT version for 20 megabytes, which contains all of the actual, the GUI that you would need. There's also Linux as well if you needed it, but I'm just going to be using the Windows version right here. So to give an idea, when you start Shad PS4, it's going to ask you where you want your directories to be. Now, this is a Shad PS4 directory that works out of the box, but there's a couple things that you'll want to be doing. So first things first, when you've actually installed Bloodborne to your Shad PS4 system, like so, basically if you have a package file or you're able to back up the package or dump the game, in whatever fashion, you can basically go to File, Install Packages, and install Bloodborne. So this is CUSA 03173, and this is the most up-to-date version of Bloodborne, 1.09. Now, there's a couple things you have to do that are a little bit different. You have to, first off, delete a couple of files. And that's as simple as going right-clicking, opening the game folder, and basically going all the way to DVD root PS4. And I believe, if you can just follow exactly what I'm showing over here, I think it's the param def. And then in the param def folder, delete everything except for paramdef.paramdefbnd.dcx. Now, once that's effectively done over here, it's a matter of also using your actual PS4 libraries, in order to better emulate this project. Now, what Shad PS4 does is it also has its own libraries, but you get better compatibility if you use, system libraries from an actual PlayStation 4. So in this case, I have an actual hacked 11.0 PlayStation 4 that I was able to fire up, get it jailbroken, and basically connect it via FTP and just download the required files, which are around like 200 megabytes, from my actual device. By getting those files, I was able to go to the Shad PS4 directory, go to the User tab, and go to Sys Modules, and just copy and paste them all into here. So all these SPRX and SL files are all from my actual PlayStation 4. Now, I can't distribute these files because that would be piracy, and I don't recommend that you illegally download. If you have a hacked PlayStation 4, rip it from there. Once all of that is effectively done, now we can get to the fun shit, ladies and gentlemen, which is play some Bloodborne on PC. So we're going to double click this, and you can see there's actually, stuff happening. But if you look very carefully, I got a gray screen, And boom, Sony Computer Entertainment. Now I played a little bit just so I could actually, see the game was functioning. And I didn't want to just play something for like 3 seconds and have the game crash. That wouldn't be an exciting video. So here it is. The game is giving me an actual intro. So it's fixed. And mind you, we're going to play like actual dog cheeks, because the way that this emulator works is it doesn't actually have built-in controller support because it's still a work in progress. But if you have Steam, I'm sure you can route this through Steam as a non-Steam game, and then use Steam's like, I think it's the Steam input functionality, and just route a PlayStation controller or anything, and just map the keys right there. I can't do it because I'm in a virtual machine, so I can't really connect any controllers for some reason, which isn't really the end of the world here. But right now, all right, there is basically a controller library. So right over here, you can see that they've actually gave them some maps. So WASD is left, the left analog, IKJL is the right analog, and of course numpad is your face buttons, and that's pretty much how the cookie crumbles. So let's just hit X, go offline, and if we go down, you can see that it actually has a save file that I've made. So I'm going to load this up, and it's loading, and you can basically see in the left side that there's a bunch of warnings, but it actually loads up the game. So there's no sound, clearly, but it's fine. All right, look, baby steps, okay? Baby steps. The fact that we're here is already mind-blowing. So you got some lighting issues where it seems like the sun is directly behind us. Now, some of the effects won't load up. Like, I believe there's supposed to be mist in this area if you play it on an actual PlayStation 4. But given the fact that we're on an emulator, some 3D effects will not be rendering. Now, if you look at the frame rate, it goes from like 5 frames all the way to like 30, especially if you look down or we look straight up. It's actually running at a full 30 frames per second. So again, nothing in this situation has anything to do with my hardware. Even if you have like the most top-of-the-line stuff, because it's early stage emulation, there's probably other reasons why things aren't functioning. So obviously the doll here is abandoned, so we're actually going to go to the first area and load up the first floor sick room. Now the game initially crashed for me when I was here. There was like one error that I had, but it seems like things are loading in pretty well. You can see the loading indicator of the top right still functioning. And of course here we're at Iosefka's Clinic. So I think there might actually be some audio that's playing. I think there is actually audio that's playing. So here it is, the game is actually working and we're in like the nightmare world. Like, look at it, dude. It's like, it's not loading in things really well, but guys, I'm blown away. Like, I'm actually really blown away by this. Like, the fact that we're here, we're actually playing the game. So here I'm going to highlight the enemy, and I think I've got the actual dodge here, and boy, I'm going to try fighting this guy on a fucking keyboard. Sorry, just a keyboard. It's like playing old school DOS games right now, dude. So R1, I think, is like used, so I think maybe... Okay, I got this. It's actually somewhat easier to play when you've got like... It's actually a lot easier to kind of play when you've got like a sixth of the frame rate, because you're able to do the dodging a lot better. Oh, no, you can't do it. Dude, am I going to get my first kill on Bloodborne emulator? Jesus Christ. Wait, I don't think I have my weapon equipped. Yep, and I actually don't think I have the weapon equipped. Hold on, I gotta equip. Wait. There it is. There, I didn't have the weapon equipped the entire time. I'm a complete fucking buffoon. So I can't heal because I've got nothing to do heal-wise. So let me actually try going in closer. But what's insane is it's functioning. You know, it is actually functioning. It might not be as fast as I wanted, but the fact that we're even here is already a crazy good sign. So this is running with the Vulkan renderer, which, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. Maybe if I like look really down right now, it actually doesn't even help. This is as far as down. Oh, woo! Well, that's the first death right there. I think it might have actually crashed. Look at that. Linker, CPP, thread management. So actually, the game crashed anytime I died, I think, because the first time it crashed was when I died to this boss, and that's when in the game you get sent to the Hunter's Dream. So here it says linker CCP initial. Okay, so it's crashed, and I guess all we can really do is just, you know, kill the emulator right now. So let's go. Let's actually destroy it. So here you can see that it's using 8.4 gigabytes of memory right now. So it is definitely a chomping boy. It is definitely chewing down on my system resources. But let's fire it up again and see if we can beat this boss. And based on the save system for Bloodborne, I should actually be able to connect where I'm at. So it said right here, failure to exit may result in loss of progress. Understood. But yeah, I think dying causes the game to actually crash. So maybe it might actually be playable if you're willing to play in this decrepit fashion and not die. This could actually even be a run. The Bloodborne, you know, emulator 0.20 build. Okay, so here we're at Iosefka's clinic. So we're gonna just scroll down. Now, of course, you can see that I've got 10% of my, you know, actual CPU being used, and around 40% of my GPU basically being consumed. Now, this is running at 720p. There's no enhancements to the visuals. There's no 60 FPS patch. You know, I'm sure that you can go into the emulator and up the actual performance. We'll see some of the settings closer on as I beat this boss and actually leave the area. But let's tag him real quick and let's go in for a kill. Hopefully actually win this time. So I think it's you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I did it, dude. I actually did it, dude. Blood echoes retrieved. Woo! God damn. All right, searching for some blood vials. Now I got some heals going on. And first I actually have to try to leave the area. So, you know, point is, look downwards. This is really tapping in my, back in the day when I didn't have like a good computer at all. Sometimes you would have to actually look down at the ground, particularly when you were playing like Half-Life 2, in order to actually get some playable frame rates. But here we are, boys. The world of Yharnam. It's actually functioning. There is some audio, but I just don't think it's going to be functional. Like, dude, the fact that we're in this state in general is already gorgeous. So let's open up the gate. Maybe get to the first actual bonfire. So let's. So the skybox is rendering. Some of the lighting in the distance, if you see like right there, some of the lighting is actually working properly. So again, it's impressive that we were here a mere month after the, you know, a mere month after looking at this game load up. So there's some aspects of the lighting that work. So right there, some of the baked lighting is functioning. But of course, like, you know, it depends on where you stay and how the game loads in that information, I think is what it is. Obviously, I'm sure a developer from Software could better explain why some things function. Oh, shit! I cannot believe I dodged that. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Somehow it feels like with the low frame rate, the AI is just, it feels like the game is slightly easier. So let's go over here, activate the device. Let me actually turn down my speakers. And this should take us to the first actual, like, grace. So open up and hold circle to climb a little faster. Aim the camera down. Actually, wait. Actually, aim the camera up because we're rendering more as we climb, dude. Whew! The skybox looks great. There's so much that actually works here. It's impressive. So, if we light the lamp, we've basically made it, by the way, to the first checkpoint in the game. So now, if we go to the Hunter's Dream here, all right, return over there. We've basically proven that it is possible to play the introduction to Bloodborne, and yeah, get all the way here. So this is where the game crashes. If you see right over here, kernel close. Now, obviously, if we close the entire emulator and fire it up again, you'll see that it still retains the save file, and it should still work. Actually, we're not even in the Hunter's Dream. Can I even try going back into it? Will it just crash if I go to the Hunter's Dream like this? Wait, it is loading. I don't know what necessarily causes this crash. But yeah, to go back to it, when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4, right, on the RPCS3 emulator, there were times where that emulator just randomly crashed. And it still will if you don't have certain patches applied to the single player. But when you play RPCS3 games nowadays, I would say a good chunk of the PlayStation library, a lot of those exclusive games, do function underneath PC. Now, Bloodborne is that holy grail of PlayStation exclusivity that people really want to see. And not just this, but you've got things like PT. Now, from a game preservation's perspective, this is the only way to really preserve Bloodborne. Now, when I talk about game preservation, I want you to look at it like this. I know that in the past, I've made hyperbolic statements where, hardware, it'll eventually die out, which it does. But PlayStation's, at least PS4s, will still exist, 30 years from now. And PlayStation 5s will as well, which have built-in, hardware backwards compatibility, where you can just put in a Bloodborne disc, no internet required, and still play a game. But again, the more complex these systems become, the more, hard they are to repair down the road. Or if your Blu-ray drive fails, it may be near impossible without online servers that will not always be active to reconnect and have a, physical media always present for these systems. And that's why with emulation like this, you can at least make sure that no matter what system you have, you can download a program, use your copy of the game, and play something, down the road. Because Bloodborne is such a good game that, yeah, 20 years from now, people are obviously going to be playing this game, okay? It's going to be like Chrono Trigger. It's a timeless adventure. Now, obviously, this poses another thing. As this emulator matures, this is the only way that people are really in the mainstream going to be using things like randomizers or modding tools. Because not everyone's going to have access to a jailbroken PS4 or a PS5. And this is where, again, the real beauty of emulation, in my opinion, comes out. One of the best online multiplayer fronts, which is Metal Gear Online 2, the only real way to get to it is using a hacked PlayStation 3, or I think you can use a modded PlayStation, or you can just change DNS settings. But typically, most people will just download a customized fork of the PlayStation 3 emulator and just connect to custom servers and play the game on PC. And obviously, as these emulators exist on PC and get more optimized, you come across things like graphical enhancements, keyboard and mouse usage. So realistically, this might be the only way that we're ever going to get a PC port of Bloodborne, even if it is this unofficial emulator way. And the fact that the PlayStation 4 emulator is so performant right now, in my opinion, is a pretty good look. Down the road, I don't think you'll need crazy things. I've seen people emulate some 3D titles on a Steam Deck with Shat PS4, which is already a really good sign. But honestly, when you want to look at the innards of emulators, there's only one channel that I would recommend, and that would be my friend MVG. So obviously for now, Bloodborne is running on a PC. There's no doubt about it. And maybe a year down the road, we might actually be going back to Yarnum, not on a PlayStation system, but in an emulator like this with full 60 frames, maybe 120. Who fucking knows? Any controller you want and some graphical enhancements to boot. And if I'm God willing, maybe even, thank God, some ultra-wide support. Because look, Sony doesn't give a shit. But guess what? The Bloodborne community and the PC community do. And those are the people that are keeping Yarnum not just in a dream, but well into a reality. Anyways, that being said, all the sappy shit aside, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.